Dr. Ian Lewis. Ian, thank you very much for giving us 5 minutes.
My pleasure.
You're dressed up, ready to sing, because you're with the famous Sing for Life Tenovus choir, and you're going to open the National Cancer Research Institute meeting here in Liverpool, which is terrific. I mean, if cancer research is about anything, it's about patients.
Absolutely.
Tell us about this whole choir thing. It's remarkable.
Well, it all started one snowy night in January up in the Rhondda Valley. About 12 people. We wanted to look at whether setting up a community choir could act as an alternative cancer support group. And so we recruited people from various other support groups in the area and said, look, we're looking to set up this project. Would you be interested in coming along? So initially it took a little while for it to gain some momentum, but once it did, people started to hear about it and really want to take part and be involved with the choir. And today we have about 70 members strong, a mixture of cancer patients, survivors, their families and carers, and actually a few bereaved people as well, have been bereaved through cancer. So as I said, it started from very small beginnings, but it's really grown into something amazingly special.
And you've been assessing this in terms of its impact, measurable impact, with a research project.
That's right, yeah. We were really keen that when we set it up that we did it as a research project, because everyone knows instinctively that singing makes you feel better and is good for your overall well-being, but we wanted to be able to prove definitively that that is true, particularly in cancer patients. We all know that cancer can bring with it many emotional and practical issues, particularly when the treatment finishes and then people are often left to find support somewhere themselves, whether a support group or from a family network. And if people don't have access to that, then it obviously can be very distressing. So that's what the choir aims to do, really, is to fill that gap in people's lives. Now, as I said, we're really keen to do as a research project to be able to prove that, so we commissioned a team from the School of Healthcare Sciences at Cardiff University to measure just how the choir was benefiting people's health and well-being. So they took questionnaires and interviews with people at the start of the choir, in the middle and towards the end. Now, if I'm being honest, when we started doing that, I wasn't sure if we'd get any measurable results from that. It was quite a small group study sample, quite a short period of time. But actually 3 months on, when we started, when the team from Cardiff University showed me the data, I was so pleased because it showed statistically significant improvements in things like social function, vitality, a reduction in perceived bodily pain. Some really key issues for cancer patients. We also had trends in reduction of anxiety and depression as well, and I'm convinced that if we run the study out longer and with more people, that they would be significant as well. And it really just backs up what we know about the choir. I started going up there to make the tea and help out with the research project and collect questionnaires. And I go there every week now because it's such a wonderful thing to be involved with. And the testimonies that we get from the people involved, the people who sing in the choir, are just show just how much of an effect this has had on their lives, and it's been truly amazing.
For instance?
Well, when we first went, the first day up there, like I said, there was only about a dozen people there, and they were a very sort of disparate group initially. They were in ones and twos, didn't really know each other, and you can see those friendship groups forming as the weeks went on. And there was people who joined that choir who've just finished their treatment, who maybe hadn't left the house, since they've been diagnosed with cancer. And you see them now. They come every week. They do their hair and their makeup. They've bought new clothes. They made new friends. And some of them would never have thought they would be able to come to something like this and perform to as many as 1,000 people on stage, black tie, best frock. Amazing.
The results are clearly positive, and this is a tangible benefit for patients. And how do you cope with things like people getting unwell and in fact death? You already have had 1 or 2 patients dying from amongst the choir. Sadly, it's a reality of the choir. But they've become such a strong group. They are a group, they're a team. And whenever someone's been ill, first thing that happens is card goes round, everyone signs it. It's
someone goes to visit them in hospital, gives them the card. Just little things like that. And then when they come back, they're welcome back in the choir. And we've had people singing in the choir who've been really ill and undergoing some particularly nasty chemotherapy. And even when they don't feel well enough to sing, they still come along, listen, be part of the experience and to see people. And, we had one member of the choir, her sister died whilst of cancer while we were doing our rehearsals. And she was at the rehearsal the next day, and the day after the funeral, sorry. And because that's part of her support group, it's part of her support network.
Luckily, we've got a tape on the background, which you'll be hearing, which is some of the music. We're giving away the songs that you're going to be singing shortly. Now, you come from a very strong choral tradition, and I've seen your dad in the blazer and so on. But not everybody is a singer.
No.
And they can come if they can't sing?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. In fact, there's quite a few people who, before joining the Sing for Life choir, said, I've never actually sung.
This is in Wales?
In Wales, only in the car. I had one lady, actually, who came, said that her mother told her she couldn't sing, so she never sang. In fact, to the point where, terrible, she actually taped her singing and played it back to her to prove to her that she couldn't sing.
I see.
Now, as it turns out, she sings the choir, she's got a lovely voice. But even if she didn't, it wouldn't matter one jot, because that's not what it's about. Sure. It's about coming and having fun, meeting other people, and, in terms of the support group part, talking about your cancer as much or as little as you want. I think that's the really important thing.
And you're going to roll this out?
That's the plan, yeah. We waited until we could prove just how amazing this could be. I feel that the research results have done that. Certainly the patient testimonies have done that. Now the plan is now to secure funding and to roll it out all across Wales.
And to England?
Eventually, why not? Absolutely.
Can they sing in England?
I haven't. Well, funny enough, I've just come past the Beatles story, so I think there were certainly 4 young lads from around here who carry a tune, at least 3 anyway.
Quite appropriate in Liverpool. Ian, thanks very much indeed for giving us 5 minutes on Cancer TV. Thank you.